Hi guys. Well, I just got a notice from TikTok that I was in violation because I posted one of my videos from YouTube about, well, it's involved part of my healing after a traumatic accident that I was in. On the night of May 14th, somebody very close to me lost their mind, decided to more or less kidnap me, hold me against my will, and drive erratically on, kidnap me, hold me against my will, and drive erratically on the freeway at speeds over 100 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic, targeting semis, and threatening that they were going to crash the car and they were going to find the perfect spot so that when they hit it, it would hit so hard that it would just be nothing. He said it would, so that we would splat and there would be nothing left, were his exact words. Many times I tried rolling down the window when we were going through construction areas, screaming for help. Then he locked the window from the driver's side controller and he grabbed me by my hair and pulled me down to the floorboard so that I could not be heard or seen screaming or really scream, because at that point he had my face so close to the floor and I couldn't breathe. I mean, I just had to, at that point, quit really scream, because at that point he had my face so close to the floor and I couldn't breathe. I mean, I just had to, at that point, quit trying to scream so that I could breathe and not use any more oxygen. Many times I tried when we went through those construction zones to try to open the door to scream for help. But most of the time he had pretty good hold on my hair. So much so that after everything was said and done, that he almost scalped me, pulling my entire hair and scalp off of my skull. They had to glue, stitch, and staple my scalp back to my skull. And I have a huge bald spot there, and not so much here, because by the time I escaped his grip, I guess my hair ripped out of his hands right there. I'm not for certain. I know that they had to shave it here because of the damage on my scalp and its separation from my skull. It was awful. At one point, I heard in the back of my mind and my heart and my spirit, through the screaming of the person driving, "Do you trust me?" And I said yes. I remember that voice telling me that I was going to have to jump out of the car. And I was like, "Are you crazy? I will die." And I remember looking in the back seat of the car, because we had spent the entire day camping, celebrating a very special time for both of us at a very special place. And excuse me, but I was not planning on going on like this. But when the Lord tells me to go left, I go left. When he tells me to jump, I jump. So I remember looking back in the back seat where there were sleeping bags from our camping trip. And I was thinking if I could just wrap one around me, grab one quick enough before. And that voice in my spirit and my heart said, "Honey, you don't have time to grab anything. When I say go, go." Remember that video you seen months ago? And I knew immediately what it was talking about for whatever reason. I had seen a video probably on YouTube or a news thing or whatever saying that if you're ever in a situation where you have to jump out of a vehicle because your life is at risk, don't jump, fall out. So quickly that thought went to mind, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you sure? Thinking, there's gotta be a way I can grab something from the back. And he said, there's not gonna be time for that. When I say go, go. Next thing I know, we are going through this construction site where he had to slow down like big time. And I heard him say go. Or actually, he said, do you trust me again? And I said, yes. And he said, go. And I went. I guess, next thing I know, I was hearing in the back of my head, and it was audible this time, and it was loud. Samantha, get up now or you're going to get hit by a car. And I got up and I leaped forward like 3 or 4 steps, and I ended up like on a embankment next to a dump truck. Fell flat on my face, and suddenly I just felt tons of pain everywhere. It was awful. And then everything was just dizzy and I hurt everywhere. And somebody ran up to me and they were like, oh my God, are you okay? And I told them what was happening as best I could. And they're like, yeah, they heard it way up on the road, miles back. They've been saying they've been hearing somebody screaming help from a car. And I survived it. Eventually, after I had to be taken to the ambulance because they couldn't figure out how to get to me, and I was just across the highway, I had to be lifted up off the ground and put into a dump truck so that I could be taken to the hospital. I was taken to a hospital where they did x-rays and all kinds of stuff, and then I woke up in a burn center intensive unit a little bit later, and here I am. That was 3 weeks ago. And I had posted some of my pictures earlier on my incident. Most everything's healed really, really well. Hate putting all that light on me, but I guess it's not important because it's mostly all healed. This is something that's taking a little bit longer. Those are stitches where my elbow is all popped out, and I've got pretty nasty area on the top of my head still where I don't even know what it looks like. Nasty area on the top of my head still where I don't even know what it looks like. You guys know now better what the top of my head looks like than I do. Anyways, with that said, I almost cut my hair off. And I know that has nothing to do with all this, but God said, no, that's your crown and glory. And even though it was my pain, maybe my hair is what saved my life. Maybe he would have just pounded my face in until I was knocked out. Because sadly, he did follow through on what he said he was going to do several hours later. He didn't stop. He didn't turn around. He didn't try to see if I was okay. He kept driving, stopped at a truck stop, sat there for a couple hours, and then headed towards where the camp spot was that my camper trailer was at. And apparently, I don't know if he stopped there before or after. There was just evidence that he was there. And apparently, I don't know if he stopped there before or after. There was just evidence that he was there, and I'll just leave it at that. Then he crashed the car. He rolled it about 20 miles away from where I had to jump out of the car on the freeway. My dog was with him, and okay, because I buckled her up like a baby in a car seat. She was perfectly fine. She had to go to the Humane Society, and sadly, they fixed her. I was going to use her as a show dog because she's pretty awesome, but she's still my Blanca. My Toto Blanca. Blanca, come here. Blanca, babies, come here. Blanca. Come here, baby girl. Oh, she was under the bed the whole time. Come here. Come here. This is Blanca. Oh, okay, my wrist is broken, so it's kind of hard to pick her up. But this is Blanca. She was in the car when everything happened. I found her when I was door dashing down in Phoenix on 35th Avenue in Van Buren, I think. And the thing is, the reason that I was gone and had been over in Phoenix that night was because I had left this person because he'd put his hands on me. And then the place that I thought I was going to stay, I wasn't able to stay. I didn't know what to do. Then she came around all of a sudden when I was at Circle K, and she was half the size she is now. She almost got hit by a car, like 3 different vehicles within 5 minutes of me coming across her, or her finding me at Circle K. And she ended up coming home with me. So that's how I ended up with her. But I was like, all right, I got a dog now. And also he was calling and texting and blowing up my butt. I was like, all right, I got a dog now. And also he was calling and texting and blowing up my phone, telling me that he was going to burn my place down and burn all my pictures and destroy all my stuff. And he had the camper up where his job was, and there was a piece of property that he was living on that had woman and children, not to mention a pregnant woman on the property. And there was no way I was going to hold that guilt on me, because when he said he was going to do something, he does it. And that's perfect proof of the night of this. He said he was going to crash that car. What sucks is he didn't have to crash it to kill me, because I was already out of the car. But that was his way of making sure that it was as hard as possible for me to get going in the right direction and starting over again. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because God said, do you trust me? I said yes, and I know he's going to take care of me. He is my husband now. And that's my story. And that's all I have to say. And thank you guys so much for letting me actually share that. I have written it down. I have put it in a post, because I do want to be there for other women who are going through, or who've been through what I've been through, what me and Blanca have been through. But one day at a time, right? Love you guys. Thanks for listening to my story. And TikTok, put my video back on, please. It's for awareness for domestic violence. There's a lot of people out there right now, men, women, and children, that are in situations that they feel trapped in, that they don't know how to get out of. And when I say men, I say, you know what? Maybe they just need counseling and they don't know how to ask for help. Because I love this person who did this to me. I will never, ever not love him. But there's just some things you cannot come back from. You guys have seen pictures of him all over my page. You know how much I love him. It is what it is, and it's time to move forward. And with that said, I want to be able to help other people, other women, other people, other souls that have been hurt. That's all I want to do. And share some really cool music that God has put in my heart, especially since all this happened. I love you guys. I'm going to let you go. Blanca is chewing my hand up, and it's so messed up. I still have a lot of healing to do on it, and I think it's broke, and she just thinks it's a piece of meat. She got excited in front of the camera. She likes people. Okay, Blanca, hold on. I'll let you say goodnight. Stop it! She's biting my toes. Ouchie. Flip camera. All right. There we go. Oops. Nope, go back. Go show off. Come here. That's her. And she caught a rabbit today. I feel bad for the rabbit, but she's a Portuguese terrier, and that's what they do. They are hunting dogs. Say goodnight, Blanca. Say goodnight. Good night.